We are told that trade wars are fought in marble-floored offices, that the ultimate weapons are tariffs, taxes, and treaties. But what if the weapon is useless? What if the rules of the game don't matter, because your opponent already owns the stadium? While the headlines of 2026 are obsessed with the Trump trade and border taxes, a silent architecture has been completed beneath the surface of global commerce, a network of gateways that no tax can truly close. Welcome to the era of Port Hegemony. Today, we decode the invisible architects who quietly bought the world's front doors. Welcome back to the macro map. In the last decade, something peculiar happened. While Western nations were busy de-risking and talking about national security, their most critical infrastructure was being sold to the highest bidder. Take the port of Piraeus in Greece. Once a struggling state asset, it is now one of the most efficient hubs in the Mediterranean. The owner? COSCO, a Chinese state-owned giant. It's not just Greece. From the terminals of Valencia in Spain, to the docks of Abu Dhabi, and even the gateway of Hamburg in Germany, the invisible architects have secured a seat at the table. Governments talk about tariffs of 60% on foreign goods. But here is the paradox. How do you enforce a trade war when the very docks that receive your goods and the digital systems that track them are managed by the entity you are trying to tax? To understand this, we must look at the mechanism. It is called the Port Park City model. Entities like COSCO and China Merchants Group don't just buy a dock, they buy the entire ecosystem. They build the logistics park next to the port, they lay the digital cables, and most importantly, they install a system called LOGINK. LOGINK is the Google Maps of global trade, but with a terrifying advantage. It tracks every ship, every manifest, every price, and every delay in real time. The betrayal wasn't a single event. It was a series of opportunistic moves during the crises of 2008 and 2020. When Western cities were desperate for cash to pay their debts, the architects arrived with checkbooks in hand. They didn't want the land. They wanted the information hegemony. By owning the port, they don't need to win the trade war. They simply observe it, collect the data, and optimize the flow to their own advantage before a single customs officer even blinks. Here lies the dark paradox of 2026. These ports are the most efficient in the world. They are cheaper, faster, and more reliable than state-run Western alternatives. For the consumer, this is a win. It keeps the cost of your electronics and clothes down, even in a high-inflation world. But efficiency is a double-edged sword. In a moment of geopolitical friction, efficiency becomes leverage. If a nation imposes a tariff, the architects don't need to protest. They can simply reprioritize logistics. They can shift the flow of containers to a more friendly port nearby, or adjust the processing fees within their private logistics parks. They have turned physical infrastructure into a digital subscription model, and the price of the subscription is your economic sovereignty. The trade war of 2026 is a facade. While politicians argue over percentages, the map of power is being redrawn on the docks of Rotterdam and the terminals of Darwin. We are moving into a world where it doesn't matter what you tax. It matters who owns the gate. As we look toward the rest of 2026, keep your eyes off the headlines and on the harbours. The Trump trade may dominate the news, but the port hegemony dominates the reality. The map is shifting. To understand where it leads, stay with us. Subscribe to stay ahead of the shift. This is the macro map.